In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis, as I do here every day, as well as 102 million worth of shorts liquidated as Bitcoin price surpassed 72,000. We'll also be discussing the Bitcoin ETF see a surprise, 200 million worth of outflows. Will the new 69,000 support hold? I'll be breaking it down for you, as well as Brad Garlinghouse predicts institutional money pushing the crypto market cap to $5 trillion this year in 2024. I'll be breaking down this latest report, as well as we only have roughly a week and a half left until Bitcoin halving 2024. Analysts are predicting a 160% increase of the Bitcoin price action, taking Bitcoin to 150,000 per coin. I'm also going to be sharing with you a more bullish prediction, predicting we hit 300,000 for this particular cycle. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. If you're new to the channel, be sure to smash the subscribe button to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every day just like this. Also important to smash that thumbs up, especially if you're gaining value out of today's show. It helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. Let's kick it off with our market watches we do each and every day, 7 days a week. We got Bitcoin correcting down 4% on the day after climbing $3,000 yesterday. We're currently sitting just above 69,200. 69,000 seeming to be holding right now, which is a good sign. Strong support. We have Ether down almost 5%, trading at roughly 3,500. AVAX, one of the top losers. XRP, one of the only top coins actually in the green, and TON is leading the pack, up 9% on the day, while the majority of the alts are correcting and in the red. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com, the current crypto market cap stands at $2.6 trillion with roughly 100 billion in volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance at 52.3%, with the Ether dominance at 16.3% after bottoming out a few days ago at roughly 15.8%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours, we got Phantom, Toncoin, and Pendle. Below that, Aave, Leo, Tau, and Theta. Just very modest gains as the majority of the alts are all correcting and in the red. But curious question for you guys in the chat. Which coins in particular are you most bullish on for this bull run? Holla. And checking out the crypto bubbles to get more of a visual perspective. Virtually, I'd say 97 to 95% of the alts are correcting and in the red right now. Even WIF is down 14% on the daily. But checking out the monthly, look at this. You do got some respectable gainers. Core up over 200%, TON 136%, and WIF up 59%. Zooming out on the annual, everything is virtually crushing, including Bonk up almost 4,000%. Mind-boggling. Floki 500%, and Pendle almost 1,200%. Tau almost 900%. Render 500%, and Solana 643%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated an 80 back in Extreme Greed. Yesterday 76, last week a 79, and last month a 79 in Extreme Greed. The reason we watch this particular metric, the higher this number goes, the more likely of a pullback. And we witnessed that a few weeks back when we hit 90, we corrected, had a $10,000 correction on the daily. So we'll continue to monitor this. And checking out the Bitcoin halving countdown clock, we have 10 days left until the infamous Bitcoin halving, scheduled to take place on 4/20, April 20th. That's right. And checking out the time chain calendar, it shows you which block we're currently on. It's 838,500, which means we are only, what is that? Whoa, 1,500 blocks away until the halving. As soon as we hit block number 840,000, that's when the halving occurs. And the current estimated date, again, is 4/20. You can see you could currently convert $1 for 1,447 Satoshis. So there you have it. Where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to take us in the next week and a half leading up to the halving? Holla. But let's dive into today's Bitcoin TA. Check out some of the charts where we're likely to head next. As you can see here on the 1 hour chart, Bitcoin stayed indecisive after the April 9th Wall Street Open amid a warning that the macro data could spark further Bitcoin price downside. That's right. TradingView showed Bitcoin dipping below 69,000 as Wall Street returned. The bulls continue to lack momentum to reclaim further ground towards the current all-time high of 73,800. My question for y'all, when do you feel we eclipse the current all-time high we hit? I think it was less than 2 weeks ago. We just recently hit it. But when do you feel we'll reclaim it, break it, and re-enter price discovery holla. Now, analyzing the order book data, material indicators drew attention to the whales attempting to draw the price lower in order to enter the fresh long positions. The target time frame it explained was the United States CPI print due for release April 10th, which is officially tomorrow on Wednesday. Quoting them here, we have seen this behavior frequently around economic reports. If Wednesday's core inflation numbers are hot, they'll likely be able to extend the downside move. However, what often happens in these scenarios is that whales long the dip and exploit the upside liquidity void they just created for a relatively quick move up. Now, this chart shows you the nearest firm wall of bid liquidity situated at 66.5 on the largest exchange, Binance. Quoting Rec Capital, Bitcoin is rejecting from this blue range high of 71.3 at the moment. And he also wrote Bitcoin is thus sandwiched between the old all-time high of 69,000, which is support, and the highs from 2 weeks ago of 71.3, which is resistance. There is a scope for consolidation here going forward. Now let's discuss the infamous GBTC outflows, which continue to accumulate here. April 9th saw a net outflow of 200 million. That's today, driven mostly by Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust. This caught market observers off guard. Preliminary data, April 10th, saw the GBTC outflows only accelerating heading into tomorrow. The number of crypto intelligence firm Arcam showed, as Dan Crypto Trades put them at around 6,200 BTC, which is 434 million, the largest tally in dollar terms for several weeks. Definitely not a good look when there's so much offloading, and this is more than likely why the market is currently reacting how it is. So there you have it. Pump the likes, fam. Pump the stream. We'll continue with our next story of the day. Let's discuss 102 million in shorts liquidated as Bitcoin surpassed 72,000. I think we tapped 72.5 yesterday, and today we're currently correcting. But yeah, over 102 milli worth of leverage short positions were liquidated for the past 24 hours when Bitcoin was trading above 70,400. Is the breakout from Bitcoin's weekly price range confirmed? Let's discuss it. Following the April 8th weekly high of 72.7-ish, Bitcoin price retraced to trade above 70,400 mark, falling 0.5% in the 24 hours leading up to 9:45 a.m., according to CoinMarketCap, as we can see here in the one-day chart. Following Bitcoin's rise to the weekly high, over 102 million worth of leveraged short positions were liquidated in the crypto market during the past 24 hours, with a total of 187 million worth of total liquidations, according to CoinGlass data. Now, the Bitcoin liquidations total 61.6 million, with over 34 million in short positions and 27.7 million levered longs. The largest single liquidation order amounted to 4.49 million worth of Bitcoin on Binance, as we know is the world's largest exchange. Shout out to Leonard Ray. Appreciate you joining the HODL gang and supporting the channel family. However, 33 million worth of short Bitcoin liquidations is lower than the 38 million short liquidations April 2nd. Moreover, Bitcoin's sudden 5% drawdown on April 2nd liquidated 165 million of leverage in less than 2 hours. Now, if Bitcoin's price rallies back to 73,000, over 507 million worth of these short leverage positions would be liquidated on Binance. Now, the cumulative short liquidations on Binance would reach 666 million, 666. Can you say Satan at 73,500? Traders should also watch the 73,000 level around the current all-time high, which now acts as significant resistance and a potential short liquidation zone for the Bitcoin price action. Now, following the liquidations, Bitcoin futures funding rate saw a healthy reset, falling to 0.0163% April 9th, almost 3 times lower than the previous day. However, this is still significantly lower than the 3-week high of 0.07% on April 1st. Now, Bitcoin price has successfully retested the old all-time high of 69,000, and quoting Rect, Bitcoin daily closed above the 69,000 level yesterday, and today Bitcoin is enjoying good upside. Now, the Bitcoin latest price rally can mainly be attributed to the inflows from the Bitcoin ETFs and anticipation surrounding the upcoming Bitcoin halving scheduled to take place in roughly 10 days. Let's see if it actually occurs on 420. That'd be something. Quoting Greco right here, historically, Bitcoin halving events have marked significant points followed by 9 to 18 months of uptrend, culminating in cycle peaks. So if historical patterns repeat, we may witness an uptrend for the remaining 9 months of 2024, leading to a cycle peak expected between Q4 of this year and Q2 of 2025. And that's actually A good point. Do you think we'll hit the cycle peak fourth quarter or sometime this year, 2024? Or do you think it'll most likely be sometime in 2025, such as quarter 2, quarter 1, quarter 3, or quarter 4? Holla and let me know your thoughts. But let's dive into our next story of the day and dive into these Bitcoin ETFs. Shall we? Bitcoin ETFs see a surprise 200 million outflow. Will the new 69,000 support hold? Well, again, this is the 1 hour chart. Bitcoin did fall below 70,000 today as early excitement from the week close faded, unfortunately. However, we're maintaining above 69,000, and that's a good sign. The United States spot Bitcoin ETFs took in little capital and combined with a 300 million outflow from GBTC. The day's net flows were heavily negative. And according to data from Farside, net outflows totaled just over 200 million, quoting analyst Mark Cullen. Surprisingly, even though Bitcoin pumped up yesterday, the ETF flows were significantly negative, one of the largest ever days we have had. Now, the two largest ETFs, which are BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust and Fidelity Investments, Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund, nonetheless avoided losses, maintaining an unbroken streak of inflows, as outlined here by Farside. You can see for April 8th there in the green. Market participants expected net inflows to improve after bankrupt crypto lender Genesis announced last week it had completed its own multi-billion-dollar offloading of GBTC shares, which it would in turn use to buy, I heard it was $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Now, overall, a very slow day for ETF flows, considering the price action, wrote Whale Panda, might be profit taking, although ETFs are usually held for the long term. US tax day is the 15th. Don't know how much of that may play as a factor. Now, considering the short-term Bitcoin price action, traders look for signs of a reversal upwards. We had crypto trader Ed, who began the week with an 80,000 target, eyeing 73,000 as the first port of call for upwards continuation. Let's see if we can break 63 here. Then we could have 80,000 next, according to the analyst. Bitcoin successfully retested the 2021 cycle high, but the bears are going for a second attempt of pushing the prices lower. Time to wait and see what today brings. Once price successfully holds above 71.4, new all-time highs are next. Let me know if you agree or disagree with some of that. And quoting Credible Crypto, covered the move up to the highs that we are seeing now and covered the correction after that I expect to follow. Nothing has changed. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with some of that analysis. So anyways, family, let's dive into our next story of the day. We discussed the ETFs. Now let's discuss this $5 trillion target from the Ripple CEO, Brad Garlinghouse. The headline reads, Garlinghouse predicts institutional money pushes crypto market cap to $5 trillion this year in 2024, according to the latest report. That's right. Ripple chief executive Brad Garlinghouse thinks macro factors could double the overall crypto market cap by the end of the year. Garlinghouse told CNBC recently the regulatory momentum and the newly approved spot Bitcoin ETFs could drive a massive surge in crypto prices. Quoting him here, I've been around this industry for a long time and I have seen these trends come and go. I am very optimistic. I think the macro trends, the big picture things like the ETFs, they're driving for the first time real institutional money. You are seeing what drives demand, and at the same time, demand is increasing and supply is decreasing. That doesn't take an economics major to tell you what happens when supply contracts and demand expands. Numbers go up. Garlinghouse says the overall crypto market is easily predicted to double by the end of 2024. Let me know if you agree or disagree. The current market cap sits at 2.8 trillion, but was hovering at roughly 2.6 trillion when the CEO made his comments. So Garlinghouse predicts the U.S. crypto sector will receive more regulatory clarity as well this year. As he shared in the interview, the U.S. is still the largest economy in the world, and it is, unfortunately, it's been one of the more hostile crypto markets, and I think that is going to start to change also. So there you have it, a very modest 5 trillion Bitcoin market cap, not Bitcoin, but crypto in general market cap. Again, we already eclipsed 3 trillion. That was back in November of 2021 when we hit the 69,000 all-time high. Shout out to tech support. I greatly appreciate you subscribing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Respect. But anyways, fam, with a modest market cap of 5 trillion for this cycle, where do you see Bitcoin price going from there? Let me know. Next story of the day, let's discuss these bullish price predictions. The first one's 150,000 target, then our final feature story, 300,000 prediction. But let's start with the modest 150 G's, baby, and let's break it down. Welcome y'all just joining the stream. So with only 10 days left until the much awaited halving, Bitcoin is still trading above well, currently 69,000, a psychological level, and the previous all-time high back from November of 2021, bolstering bullish long-term price predictions from market analysts. Following the halving, Bitcoin price could appreciate over 160% to reach the cycle top of above 150 Gs, baby. According to research report by Bitfinex analysts shared here, using a straightforward regression model, we predict 160% post-halving price surge in the next 14 months, taking the price between $150 and $169,000 per coin. Now, Bitcoin fell 2.2% in the last 24 hours to trade at 70,000. And again, we're just above 69,000 at the time of the live stream. Bitcoin is up over 7.5% on the weekly chart, according to CoinMarketCap, as we can see here on the 1 month chart. However, analysts note that there is more built-up selling pressure than in the previous cycles due to Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high before the halving for the first time in crypto history. That's right. While this is a sign of confidence for the bulls, it could also introduce significant selling pressure, as 1.87 million BTC, or 9.5% of the circulating supply, was bought above the 60,000 mark. Quoting the analyst here, this underscores the active engagement of short-term hodlers at higher prices, reflecting evolving ownership dynamics amidst market activity and institutional influence through spot ETFs. Increased entity movements suggest a shift in the cycle towards the gradual distribution of dormant supply and profit taking. However, Bitcoin prices can see a sharp decline during the halving period due to the Fed's quantitative tightening. In fact, Arthur Hayes, co-founder of BitMEX, wrote the following on his blog post yesterday. That is why I believe Bitcoin and crypto prices in general will slump around the halving. It will add propellant to a raging fire sale of crypto assets. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the analysts. Now, the inflows from the US spot Bitcoin ETFs have been a significant part of the Bitcoin price rally. By February 15th, the Bitcoin ETFs accounted for 75% of new investments into Bitcoin as it surpassed the 50,000 level, according to CryptoQuant. And since their launch, the Bitcoin ETFs have amassed 841,900 Bitcoin, worth almost $60 billion, representing 4.28% of the Bitcoin circulating supply. That's a lot of biddies. And with the accumulation pattern of the past 2 weeks, the Bitcoin ETFs are set to absorb 2.6% of the Bitcoin supply this year, according to Dune Analytics. Bitcoin ETFs have amassed over 500 million worth of net inflows last week, with a total of 286 million worth of daily net inflows April 8th during this week's first trading day, according to this data from Dune. So there you have it. What's your thoughts on a modest 160% price increase from the current price action, taking us to 150,000 per coin sometime this cycle peak? Let me know your thoughts. Now for our feature story of the day. Let's discuss Bitcoin halving less than 10 days away. Let's discuss this price target of $300,000 for this cycle peak. Let's break this baby down. According to the analyst, the headline reads, analyst cites favorable market trends that can see the Bitcoin price touch 300,000 per coin this cycle. Send it. That's right. Amid the renewed strength recently displayed by Bitcoin, we have crypto analyst Michaël van de Poppe, a recognized crypto analyst and trader, offering an intriguing prediction for Bitcoin, highlighting that the crypto asset is likely to reach the $300,000 threshold this bull cycle. Send it. So over the past month, the price of Bitcoin has been consolidating and hasn't been able to sustain its rise beyond its new peak of 73,000. However, things could soon be changing, according to Van de Poppe, expecting the coin to surge immensely in the short term. His forecast coincides with anticipation around the upcoming Bitcoin halving, expected to take place in roughly 10 days, fueling optimism within the crypto community. And according to the expert, Bitcoin is still experiencing significant resistance. Nonetheless, if Bitcoin manages to break out of this zone, the coin could witness a progression towards a new all-time high in the coming months, as outlined here in the chart. Given that Bitcoin achieved the 70,000 price level ahead of the halving, Poppe believes that it is likely to surge to unprecedented levels, particularly topping out at $300,000 per coin in this bull run. According to the tweet, quoting him here, Bitcoin is still facing crucial resistance. If this breaks, then we'll be seeing a continuation towards new all-time highs. Bitcoin at 70,000 pre-halving, likely $300,000 this cycle. Can someone run the math? Is that roughly 4x, 400%-ish? Let me know. Now, Poppe underscored that the price of Bitcoin returned to 70,000 level over the weekend, and as a result, has pointed out bullish indicators that are presently occurring in the crypto landscape. The analyst also noted the strength of the crypto markets have now exceeded our perceptions, and dips in alts represent opportunities for good entries. In addition, the Bitcoin price demonstrates the potential to reach a new all-time high pre-halving, and a shift in favor of altcoins is on the horizon. And again, as we pointed out earlier, for the first time in Bitcoin history, we finally eclipsed the previous cycle all-time high pre-halving, which is another massively bullish indicator. So let me know your thoughts on this 300,000 price prediction from crypto analyst Michaël van de Poppe. Do you think this is realistic? Do you think it's a pipe dream? Do you think it's modest? Do you think it's a possibility? Whatever your thoughts, holla in that live chat, and I greatly appreciate it. And I'll discuss my thoughts on it. I think 300,000 is right in the range where I can see it actually happening this cycle. Again, my bear scenario is 222,000, and my bull scenario is as high as 750,000, 300 being inside that range, 500 more of the medium average of that range, and 300 is more of the bear scenario. But nonetheless, I'd still be very satisfied regardless if we hit the bear scenario of 222 or if we hit the 750. Clearly, I'll be that much more excited to hit the higher range. But nonetheless, even the lower range is very intriguing, especially considering when I got into Bitcoin, it was $1,500 per coin back in 2017. So not too shabby. Those are pretty nice gains. And even from today's price action, I mean, a modest 300 grand is still roughly a 400% price increase from the current price action. And considering the institutional FOMO, which we didn't have previous cycle, and all the ETFs, of course, that are yet to even be launched, like we've been discussing, they're going to be launching from China via Hong Kong and all parts of the world, El Salvador. Then the institutional, besides institution, we have the nation state adoption, like countries like El Salvador and other countries that haven't made the announcement yet, who have been secretly buying and hoarding the biddies. And then, of course, we have sovereign wealth fund adoption. Then, of course, we can't forget the retail. The previous all-time high was driven purely from retail. So there are just so many bullish catalysts. Also, another thing we can't forget, we have the presidential election here in the States later this year, ironic enough. So all these things are going to play a factor, and more people are losing faith in their fiat currency and their central banking cartels. Yeah, I mean, running the countries amok, and the money printing, and them allegedly keeping inflation in control. Yeah, I mean, oh, we're going to keep it under 3%. It's not a concern. I don't think the average person or anyone who, in the know actually believes anything coming out of their lips or mouths anymore. And what's the perfect hedge against all the corruption? Bitcoin. What's the perfect hedge against the inflation? Bitcoin. What's the perfect hedge against the deflation? Bitcoin. What's the perfect hedge against corruption in general? Bitcoin. What's the, what do you do from here? You stack sats and you treat Bitcoin as a savings account because it's the ultimate savings and it's unconfiscatable. Every other form of asset can be taken from you, just like property, real estate. Ask Andrew Tate about that one. They can seize your vehicles. They can seize your gold bars. In fact, they've done that numerous times, as history has shown us. They can virtually take anything away from you if they want to, if they have a desire to do so, except properly self-custodied Bitcoin. And for that reason alone, it's priceless. There'll never be another form of money with a finite limited supply that is unconfiscatable. Bitcoin was first. It has first mover's advantage. It has already reached the escape velocity. Nothing will ever catch up to it. It is what it is. Bitcoin has been going strong for 15 years. The network has never once went down. It is the strongest monetary network in the history of the world. It's the most appreciating asset in the history of the world. When you make a Bitcoin transaction, the transaction is the settlement of it in of itself. So Bitcoin can save these retailers billions of dollars. Retailers like Walmart, any of these other, physical places people go and shop, even places like Amazon, digital marketplaces, Bitcoin can change the game, right? Because imagine the billions of dollars they would be saving from not having to use the payment rails such as a Visa or MasterCard or something like that, right? And then they can pass the savings to the retail. Do you think retail, let's talk about the ladies for a second. If the ladies had the opportunity to save whatever it is, 2%, 5% by using Bitcoin as instead of fiat currency, what do you think they would choose? Women love to save money. Just saying. Who doesn't like to save money? So, for example, you see something on sale. Oh my God, It's on sale. I got to take advantage of it. Same concept with Bitcoin. What if you can buy whatever you're currently buying in your favorite marketplace, but they're going to pass on a 5% discount for using Bitcoin? That doesn't mean you need to use all your Bitcoin to buy things. That means you can have self-custodied Bitcoin, and then you can have some Bitcoin in a hot wallet on a phone. You can maybe keep a couple of $100 on the hot wallet on your Bitcoin phone to make the transactions on whatever. You know what I mean? We're giving you some random examples. Amazon, you know what I mean? Walmart. I'm just saying, what if? And also, what if Jeff Bezos, announces being a Bitcoin, whatever, billionaire, 100 millionaire? Who is Mr. 100? Who is that? Is that a country secretly buying? Is that a Jeff Bezos, like a billionaire? Could it be Zuckerberg? Could it be Andrew Tate? A lot of questions, right? But the bigger picture is there is such a finite, limited supply of Bitcoin, and there is mass demand, the supply being awarded to the miners, about to get slashed in half from 900 a day to 450 per day. Just use your imagination. What's going to happen when there's a legitimate supply shock? We already witnessed a demand shock with these ETFs, right? What's going to happen when there's a supply shock and there's just no more to buy, and the 2 million Bitcoin available on the exchanges are gone, and all the Bitcoin is all of a sudden in the hands of the long-term hodlers such as you who refuse to sell? Well, they're going to have to bribe you with some higher fiat prices to even get you to entertain to sell your biddies, right? Stock to flow shows us Bitcoin hovering above 100,000 between the time of this halving, which is in roughly a week and a half, to the next halving of 2028. Could foresee Bitcoin hitting $1 million per coin. We have Cathie Wood. She made her predictions even more bullish, saying we can now hit 3.8 million per coin by the year 2030. But I want to know your thoughts. And even yesterday, I shared a Samson Mao very bullish prediction of hitting $1 million this year per Bitcoin. But let me know your thoughts. Where do you feel the Bitcoin price action is likely to go next? Holla at your boy.